On April 25th, 2007, former Chief of Staff of the Air Force, General T. Michael Mosley, introduced to the total force the Airman's Creed. In his introductory letter, he talked about how we as a service had been in continuous combat for then over 16 and now over 20 years. He set as one of his top priorities reinvigorating the warrior ethos in the total force. The warrior ethos, appealing to our conviction, our character, our mindset, our spirit, and our soul. For it was this warrior ethos, he said, that transcends time from our past to our present and into our future. The Airman's Creed, a set of guiding principles to follow.
Our youngest son used to quiz me on our creed when it first came out. Why don't you know it by heart, Dad? It's your creed. It is certainly something that we say and something that we listen to. It feels good to memorize the creed, but the challenge is whether or not we live the creed. Is it really part of us?
It begins with the personal pronoun I, designed for the reason that this must be personal to all of us. Then, collectively, all of the I's of the total force, if they come together, can form a bond in this total Air Force that is impenetrable. I am. Now it cuts to defining who we are. We are Americans. I am an American first and foremost, with a responsibility to this country, this nation, founded by our forefathers, paid for by the blood, by the many who have come before us. I am an American, living in a free society, independent from tyranny, a free society where we, the people, count.
I, as an American, have decided to join a force, something larger than ourselves. A branch of the military that is responsible for air, space, and cyberspace. I am an American Airman, resonating 4 times through the creed, the beginning of every stanza, personal to us, penetrating our heart.
Right away, because we needed to have this warrior ethos, it tells us right up front, it speaks to us. I am a warrior. I have answered my nation's call. Do you remember when you first raised your hand to take the oath of office? Do you remember the setting? Do you remember the words? Have you made them a part of you? I do solemnly swear, it says, that I will support and defend, not man, not woman, not idol, but the greatest document ever written by the hands of our forefathers, collectively signed by the group of people who declared our independence from tyranny, who declared with a loud voice that we wanted a free government established for we, the people. I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Our Constitution, which makes us the greatest nation the world has ever known. And I will bear true faith. I am faithful to the Constitution. I believe in this Constitution. I have faith that it is a document that makes us what we are, and an allegiance to the same. I will have an allegiance to that Constitution, to protect it.
The next line reminds us that we in the United States of America serve elected officials. Officials elected by us, by the people. And we have a right, a perfect right, to vote. Therefore, it is in our oath of office that we will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and obey the orders of the President of the United States, the Supreme Commander of our military forces, our Commander-in-Chief.
It should be no surprise that it is in there because that leader elected by the people of this free world has a responsibility to us, and we will follow their orders. In the enlisted oath, it goes on to say, and the officers appointed over me according to law and regulations. So help me God.
The officer oath has another line at this point where it says that I make this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I am about to enter, so help me God.
I am an American Airman. My mission is to fly, fight, and win. Every Air Force specialty code coming together to make our mission happen. Doesn't matter if you're a security forces, civil engineer, logistics, boom operator, or pilot. It makes no difference. All the AFSCs, medical, intel, EOD, comm, all must come together to fly, fight, and win. Any breakage in that blue line could cause our mission to fail. No one AFSC is greater than the other.
I am faithful to a proud heritage. A heritage since 1947 when we became a separate service. Thanks to the pioneers. General Hap Arnold, General Carl Spaatz. Thanks to the pioneers who worked with President Truman, President Eisenhower to make our Air Force a separate service, to make it a reality. I am faithful to that heritage, a tradition of honor. Those before us walked honorably. When they didn't, and when we don't today, we're disciplined and we're punished. Honorable, we're going to protect that honor. A tradition of honor and a legacy of valor. Jimmy Doolittle, a lieutenant colonel at the time, looked at his troops on board that ship, his pilots, and said to them, "We have to launch now. It's early. We will not have enough fuel to get out of enemy territory, but our nation is depending on us to bomb the heart of the enemy, to restore morale to the United States of America. This is our mission. I don't know if we will come back." Valor, our legacy.
I am an American Airman, guardian. And you hear the word again, freedom, guardian of freedom. How do we do it? We do it justly. We're not a barbaric society, we're a just society. We inflict punishment in accordance with standards. We make things happen in accordance with a just system.
Our nation's sword and shield, the two most predominant weapons of all ages, and if ever the sophisticated technology went away, our people on the battlefield will be looking for these two items, the sword and the shield. offensive and defensive in nature. Who can forget the 300 who stood strong, the 300 Spartans as they stood up for the rights and their freedom against the tens of thousands of Persians, putting those shields together, forming a wall and pushing the enemy back.
Its century. Stand in the watch, not allowing those who want to inflict any sort of pain or discomfort on us. And an avenger. If you do come in, either internally or externally, remember, we defend against all enemies, foreign and domestic. We will avenge, and you will feel our wrath.
I will defend my country with my life. Troy L. Gilbert, Officer Training School graduate, 1995 and 2007 in Iraqi Freedom. F-16 pilot, he's called in because there's a downed helicopter with a crew on the ground. He goes in for repeated strafing runs against heavy enemy fire, low-level flying, knowing that he was putting his life in danger. But he did the repeated pass and ultimately did lose his life, protecting those individuals.
The story of Senior Airman Jason Cunningham, a PJ, pararescueman, who was killed while saving 10 service members in Afghanistan. A snowy mountaintop, Operation Anaconda. The mission? To uproot the Taliban and Al-Qaeda. A member of the Air Force's elite reserve service. He gave medical treatment under fire for 7 hours to the wounded, despite being shot twice. Senior Airman Jason Cunningham bled to death before rescue helicopters could save him. I will defend my country with my life.
I am an American Airman, and to close the creed out, 3 words. 3 words for us right here to pay attention to. They're put in there for a reason. Wingman. It is necessary to be a true wingman. Leader, think about that. As you lead, why you lead, who is looking at you as you lead. And warrior. There's that word again.
Do you internalize these 3 words? These 3 words should hit your core. Wingman, leader, warrior. The creed now wraps its arms around our core values. I will never leave an airman behind. Are you attentive to your airmen? Do you mentor, guide, train, document, and coach? We build leaders for tomorrow. You will never leave an airman behind.
I will never falter in integrity. I will not have self before service. I will put service before self. When I think about having that inappropriate relationship, just because I'm at a low point in my life, and I know it is wrong to do so, but myself is before service on this particular day. It doesn't matter what it does to the organization you say. All I'm thinking about right now is my own benefit. When I think about going across that line, I must remember that I will never falter in my obligation to the core values. Excellence in all that I do will be my standard each and every day. I will never falter in that. When I don't feel I can go anymore, I've just gotten off a deployment, and now you're hitting me with an operational readiness inspection. I just finished that up and you want me to redeploy. I get back from that and I've got a unit compliance inspection. I don't have anything else to give, you say. But yet I remember the creed. I will never falter.
You would expect, with the brilliance of the entire creed, for them to save the best for last. A line which is shouted by 600 to 800 of America's finest each Friday at Lackland Air Force Base as each brand new airman graduates basic military training. They internalize and shout this last line to their family, their peers, their leaders, and the world. They want your attention because there's one more thing they need you to know. They internalize and personalize the creed with an I. Then two words that are defensive against anything else: will not. Because when you say not in the English language, it's looking whatever is coming next in the eye. An American airman says not to the most negative word in our vocabulary: failure. New and old American airmen look it in the eye and say, and I will not fail.
The creed, the Airman's Creed, guiding principles for us. Do we just say the creed? Do we just memorize it and feel proud that we have memorized it? Or is it a part of us, a part that we are living? Think about that. If you live the creed, if the oath of office is inside of you and you take it seriously, if you wrap this creed around your obligation to never falter with the core values, then I promise you, as the creed promises you, we promise you, that I will not, you will not, and we will not fail.